the XXXY chromosomes are insufficient. Because when we wake up in the morning, we exaggerate whatever feature we want to portray the gender of our choice.
That was Neil deGrasse Tyson, the type of public intellectual I like to call the TikTok intellectual, because I rarely see him engage in a long-form conversation with other intellectuals debating ideas, but there's a profound number of short clips of him talking about science fiction and some other weird stuff. Most of the time, I can't really relate with what he's saying, maybe because I'm not an astrophysicist. But one thing public intellectuals are famed for is the ability to digest complex scientific information for the plebes to understand. And on that point, I think Tyson fails spectacularly. That introductory clip was a clip of Tyson explaining his theory that the XXY chromosome, which is used scientifically to distinguish between males and females, is insufficient to determine who is a man or a woman. This simply means if genetic analysis of an individual is done, a scientist cannot, on the basis of the XXY chromosome, say for certain that a person is male or female. Watch as he further tries to explain that point.
Suppose no matter my chromosomes, today I feel 80% female, 20% male. I'm gonna put on makeup. I'm gonna do that. Tomorrow I might feel 80% male. I'll remove the makeup and I'll wear a muscle shirt. Why do you care?
Yeah.
What business is it of yours to require that I fulfill your inability to think of gender on a spectrum?
Well, geez, Einstein, it's not a matter of why anybody cares. If someone thinks or believes that they can be male or female in percentages, that's the business. The problem is asking everyone else to participate in their delusion, and the fact that there are practical consequences for such participation. I'm not sure Tyson realizes how dumb he sounds. People like him have moved from the notion that a biological male can claim to be a woman to the notion that people can oscillate between both sexes/gender on a daily, hourly, or even per second basis, or even more insanely, that a person can characterize themselves as being of either gender in percentages at any point in time when they are not hermaphrodites. If it sounds as crazy and confusing as it sounds, it's because it's just as crazy and confusing. It's strange that a scientist is making an emotive and subjective argument on a purely scientific issue. The idea is to shame anyone who doesn't agree with his position, to feel bad that they are immoral for not affirming a person's delusion. So why do I care? I don't care if you think you're a woman or want to dress or live like a woman. Well, knock yourself out. But when that delusion of yours come in conflict with the realities of interacting with others in society, then that conflict has to be resolved in favor of reality. A practical example being female-only shortlists for positions, for example, in the British Parliament. The purpose of such quotas is totally defeated if anyone can legitimately claim to be a woman. I don't care what you identify as, but if a biological male decides to obtain a spot on that female-only shortlist, then that's not going to be acceptable. His delusion has crossed from the personal to society. When everything means nothing, then nothing means anything.
My only point was that if who you decide is male and female in the street is a construct of style and trends and what the beauty industrial complex wants you to see, if that's how we establish gender, then maybe some people want to be fluid within that gender.
That's not how gender is established. I know they like to say gender and sex are not the same things, but they actually are. And if we try to separate them, even based on their own metric, you run into problems. For example, if gender is just a matter of style, then the transgender person need not undergo surgery to fit that style. They can simply take on the style of the gender they think they are. But that's not what they do. They alter their biological structures, which makes no sense if it's just a matter of style.
So they'll wear a skirt, but maybe have a beard, or they'll mix and match that in whatever way
But Neil,
you want.
sorry.
Hold on. I'm not. Wait. I'm almost done. So,
Okay.
if a person using the tools of the beauty industrial complex wants to mix and match this,
Yeah.
and they are expressing their freedom in a free country to do so, why is your job to tell them not to?
You know why it's my job? The thing is, you can dress up as president of a country, you can even call yourself president. No one's going to stop you. But once you step up to people and ask them to recognize you as president and give you all the privileges of the president, you're going to run into some serious problems, and no one is going to oblige you. Later on in the conversation, Tyson tries to argue that sports categories should be based on certain criteria like hormone levels or weight instead of sex and gender.
With sports, very interesting. There was a case where a woman wanted to be they wanted to disqualify her from an event. She had very big muscles and she had naturally high testosterone levels. Okay. She was genetically female, but unusually high testosterone levels. And so that weirded everybody out. So I'm wondering whether the future of those sports is you don't contest gender with gender, you contest hormone ratios.
Well, hold on a second.
What
But
do
the
you think of
difference
that?
is
What he doesn't realize is that weight or testosterone are not the only factors that differentiate men from women. Men have a faster reaction time, better eye-hand coordination, higher bone density, such that a man with the same testosterone level and weight as a woman would still have a significant advantage over said woman, say in a boxing match. There have been mixed gender boxing matches where a woman at the top of a weight category, a champion, was defeated by a nondescript man from a lesser weight class. Or the famous case of the female Australian national soccer team losing 7-0 to a team of under 15-year-olds. If there's one thing that the red pill morons get right, it's the fact that men and women are not the same. But Tyson must really love making a fool of himself, so he makes these sorts of weird arguments. It's about time nobody took public intellectuals seriously anymore. They are just as, if not even more, confused than ordinary people. Now, if you're looking for something fun and exciting to read, check out my crime fiction novel, which features a debate on race and colonialism. Grab a copy and enjoy the read. The link is in the description of the video. So that's the video. If you like what we do on this channel, consider becoming a channel member or patron. However, your likes, shares, and views are just as valued.